The deep-sea research station, Aquaventure, floated like a lone island in the vast expanse of the ocean. Dr. Alex Turner, a marine biologist, led a team of scientists exploring the uncharted depths of the Puerto Rico Trench. As the crew descended into the abyss, the cold darkness outside pressed against the thick glass of the submersible like an ominous presence. The submersible's lights illuminated an alien landscape. Strange, luminescent organisms floated past the portholes, casting an eerie glow. The sonar emitted a steady hum, mapping the trench's unexplored topography. "Look at this, Alex," said Dr. Olivia Chen, the station's geologist, pointing at the sonar readings. "There's a massive cavern ahead, deeper than anything we've seen before." As the submersible approached the cavern, the crew's excitement was tinged with trepidation. The sonar revealed a vast, dark void beneath the trench floor, a subterranean world hidden from the reach of sunlight for millennia. The submersible descended into the cavern, its lights revealing colossal rock formations and strange, phosphorescent creatures. The sonar continued to map the cavern's depths, but the readings became erratic, as if the topography was constantly shifting. "We're entering uncharted territory, folks. Keep your eyes peeled," Alex cautioned over the intercom. The submersible ventured deeper into the cavern, and the crew's unease grew. The sonar emitted an unsettling frequency, a discordant melody that seemed to resonate with the darkness. Olivia examined the rock formations, her eyes widening as she noticed strange carvings etched into the cavern walls, symbols that seemed both ancient and alien. "Alex, you need to see this. These carvings. They look like something out of mythology," Olivia whispered. Before Alex could respond, the submersible jolted, causing everyone to stumble. Alarms blared as the sonar detected a sudden drop in pressure. "We've hit an unexpected trench within the cavern. Brace for impact," shouted the pilot. The submersible descended rapidly into an abyss within the abyss. The crew held onto whatever they could, panic etched on their faces. As the submersible leveled out, the lights flickered, revealing an expansive, dark chamber. The sonar now emitted a low, haunting frequency. Olivia stared at the readings in horror. "Alex, this can't be right. There's something massive down here, and it's alive." As the crew strained to make sense of the sonar readings, the submersible's lights caught glimpses of colossal, tentacle-like appendages that seemed to writhe in the darkness. The crew's apprehension turned to terror as a colossal eye, glowing with an otherworldly light, fixed on the submersible. "We need to ascend now. Whatever that is, it's not something we want to meet in the dark," Alex urged. The submersible ascended, leaving the cavern and its mysterious inhabitant behind. The crew's relief, however, was short-lived. As they reached the shallower depths, the haunting frequency from the sonar transformed into a melodic hum that seemed to echo through the water. The crew stared at each other in disbelief as the hum reverberated within the submersible. It wasn't just a sound, it felt like a presence, an ancient force that transcended the boundaries of the physical world. As the hum intensified, the submersible's instruments malfunctioned, and the lights flickered in synchronization with the eerie melody. The crew, gripped by an unexplainable fear, huddled together in the dimly lit chamber. Suddenly, the submersible's communications crackled to life with a voice that seemed to resonate from the abyss itself. It spoke in a language unknown to the crew, a guttural and ancient dialect that echoed through their minds. "We have slumbered for eons, undisturbed by the surface dwellers. Your intrusion has awakened the guardian of the abyss," the voice intoned. The crew, paralyzed with terror, listened helplessly as the voice spoke of an ancient pact between the ocean depths and humanity, a pact that had been violated by their presence. As the hum reached a deafening crescendo, the submersible's lights extinguished, plunging the crew into absolute darkness. The last thing they heard was the haunting melody, fading into the abyss as the guardian claimed the intruders who had dared to disturb its ageless slumber. The research vessel, Neptune's Whisper, cut through the black waters of the Pacific Ocean, heading towards the mysterious depths of the Mariana Trench. Dr. Emily Harper, a marine biologist, led the expedition with a team of scientists and divers. Their mission, to explore the uncharted regions of the trench, where no human had ventured before. As the submersible descended into the abyss, the pressure outside increased, and the darkness enveloped them like a suffocating shroud. The only sources of light were the dim glow of the submarine's instruments and the bioluminescent organisms that drifted past the portholes. Emily's excitement waned as a sense of unease settled over the crew. The sonar emitted faint, irregular pings, indicating an anomaly in the trench's topography. "Captain, we're approaching an unusually deep crevice," warned the sonar operator. The captain, James Mitchell, furrowed his brow. "Proceed with caution. We don't know what's down there." The sub descended into the abyssal trench, its lights piercing the darkness. As they reached the bottom, the sonar displayed an unnerving absence of readings. It was as if the trench floor was a void, devoid of any life or structure. Emily, seated in the cramped submersible, couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. She peered through the porthole, but the darkness outside revealed nothing. The unease in the confined space was palpable, and the crew exchanged uneasy glances. Suddenly, the sonar emitted a series of rapid pings. The crew's attention snapped to the screen, where a massive, unidentified object appeared to be closing in on them. "Captain, we've got something big approaching, fast," the sonar operator exclaimed. A chill ran down Emily's spine as the crew braced for impact. The submersible shook violently, throwing everyone off balance. Emergency lights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the strained faces of the crew. As the turbulence subsided, the crew cautiously surveyed their surroundings. The sonar now displayed a massive trench wall, but the mysterious object had vanished. Disoriented and on edge, they decided to ascend and regroup. As the submersible rose, the unease lingered. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something lingered in the darkness below. The crew tried to reassure themselves, attributing the encounter to a geological disturbance or an equipment malfunction. Hours later, they reached the surface, the ocean's calm surface a stark contrast to the abyssal depths they had just left. Back on the research vessel, the crew gathered to review data and footage. The sonar readings from the encounter puzzled the scientists. The mysterious object seemed to defy the laws of physics, disappearing without a trace. Emily, however, couldn't shake the image of the abyssal trench devoid of life, as if it were a desolate void. That night, as the crew slept, Emily was awakened by an eerie sound echoing through the ship. It was a low, haunting hum that seemed to reverberate from the depths of the ocean. Unable to resist its call, she found herself drawn to the edge of the ship. As Emily gazed into the inky blackness, the hum intensified. The water's surface began to ripple, and a shadowy figure emerged from the depths. It was a humanoid shape, but its features were obscured by the darkness. The figure beckoned to her, its siren song echoing in her mind. Compelled by an inexplicable force, Emily donned a diving suit and descended into the water. The chill of the abyss enveloped her as she sank into the darkness. The hum grew louder, drowning out all rational thought. As Emily reached the trench floor, she saw the figure waiting for her. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, revealing a depth of ancient wisdom and a hint of malevolence. The hum became a deafening roar, and Emily felt the pressure of the ocean bearing down on her. Suddenly, the figure extended its hand, and Emily felt a surge of terror. It was not a benevolent force, it was something ancient and hungry, lurking in the deepest recesses of the trench. In a desperate attempt to escape, Emily propelled herself upward, the creature's haunting hum fading into the distance. As she breached the surface, gasping for air, she realized that the abyss held secrets beyond human comprehension, ancient entities that slumbered in the darkest corners of the ocean, waiting for the curious and the unsuspecting to awaken them from their eons-old rest. The rhythmic hum of the submarine's engines reverberated through the cold, dark waters of the Mariana Trench. Commander Olivia Marshall peered through the thick porthole, her eyes scanning the inky blackness that surrounded them. The crew of the research vessel, the Abyssal Explorer, had descended to depths never before explored by human eyes. As the submersible descended further into the abyss, a sense of unease settled over the crew. The pressure outside increased, pressing against the hull like an invisible force. Dr. Marcus Bennett, the marine biologist on board, adjusted his glasses nervously. "Commander, I'm picking up strange signals on the sonar," he said, his voice betraying a hint of anxiety. "It's like nothing I've ever seen before." Olivia furrowed her brow, studying the readings on the console. The sonar emitted an eerie ping, and the sound waves returned distorted, as if bouncing off something massive and unnatural. "We're in uncharted territory, people," Olivia announced over the intercom. "Keep your eyes peeled and stay vigilant. We don't know what's down here." The crew exchanged nervous glances but continued their mission. The sub descended deeper into the abyss, its powerful lights piercing the darkness. The beams revealed strange, otherworldly creatures that glided through the water, their translucent bodies illuminated by an eerie bioluminescence. As the submersible ventured into a particularly dark crevice, the lights flickered for a moment, casting the crew into temporary darkness. When the lights came back on, the crew caught a glimpse of something unsettling through the porthole, a colossal silhouette moving in the shadows. "Did anyone else see that?" Olivia asked, her voice tight. "I saw it," Marcus confirmed, his eyes wide. "I don't know what it was, but it was massive." The crew's tension escalated as the submarine continued its descent. The strange signals on the sonar persisted, growing stronger as they reached new depths. The air inside the sub became thick with apprehension. Suddenly, the submersible jolted, sending the crew stumbling. Alarms blared as the vessel's hull groaned under an unseen pressure. Panic seized the crew as they frantically checked the instruments. "We're losing structural integrity," shouted the engineer, desperation in his voice. Olivia, her face pale, made a quick decision. "Emergency ascent. Get us out of here, now." The submarine strained against the unseen force as it ascended, leaving the oppressive darkness behind. Just as the crew began to breathe a sigh of relief, the sonar emitted a final, haunting ping. A deep, guttural moan echoed through the water, vibrating the submersible. The crew stared at each other in horror as the monstrous silhouette from before emerged from the shadows, revealing itself to be an ancient leviathan, its colossal form shrouded in darkness. The creature's eyes, glowing with an otherworldly light, fixated on the submersible. Its mouth opened wide, revealing rows of razor-sharp teeth. The crew watched in terror as the leviathan closed the distance with astonishing speed. Olivia clenched her fist, her mind racing. Deploy decoys. Anything to distract it. The crew worked frantically, releasing decoy flares and electronic signals. The leviathan, however, seemed uninterested in the distractions, its gaze locked onto the submersible. The lights flickered once more, and the crew braced for impact. In the final moments, the submersible collided with the leviathan's massive form. The impact sent shockwaves through the vessel as the crew clung to whatever they could. The lights went out, plunging them into darkness. As emergency lights flickered back to life, the crew found themselves alone, floating in the abyss. The leviathan had disappeared, leaving them with the chilling realization that there were depths of the ocean where ancient, unimaginable horrors lurked, horrors that were not meant to be disturbed.